Do you have a sensitive bump right here at the upper part of your neck, just below the skull, on either side or on both sides, and when you press on it, it's very sensitive? It's probably the size of a pea or a little bigger, and it feels like a little swelling, and it could be like a muscle, but it's not a muscle. It probably feels hard. So that is a dorsal root ganglion. So outside of when the nerves exit the spine, they're straight, and then there's a little ganglion, which is a little pea-sized root or a little pea-sized aggregate of nerve fibers, and then they further extend on both sides of the spine and go to innervate whatever muscles and organs. But when you have a misalignment of the upper cervical spine, it can sort of inflame and compress these nerve roots, these ganglions, and then they'll start swelling, they'll become sensitive, and they'll become very noticeable. So if we look at a model of the spine, here it is. That's the base of the skull right here, and then C1 is this vertebra right here, and then you have C2. And the way the nerve roots exit the upper cervical spine, so this area right here, is very posterior. So they exit at the back here, in between the skull and C1 right here where my finger is, and then in between C1 and C2 right here. And it's in this area where you have ganglions, you have 4 of them on both sides, and it's in those areas that it can become very swollen and very painful. So if you feel like you have a pea-sized swollen, painful, sore spot in your upper neck below your skull, it's very likely that your upper cervical spine is misaligned, compressing, putting pressure on the nerves or not, but it's at least causing inflammation and irritating those nerve fibers. Whether there's compression or not, it doesn't matter. The simple fact is you have an upper cervical spine misalignment, very likely, and you need to get that taken care of so that the nerves are not further obstructed and interfered with, and their functions interfered with. Now, along with that comes a lot of upper cervical misalignment symptoms such as neck pain, headaches. You can have problem with vision, swallowing. You can have different problems with different nerves, parasympathetic dysfunction, dystonia, dysautonomia, and the list goes on and on and on. So the simple fact is get your upper cervical spine checked by an upper cervical chiropractor. Make sure that it's not misaligned. If it is, then they can correct that misalignment easily.